go, sports fans. 10U-A Minneapolis Storm versus the Mounds View Irondale Mavericks here in Hibbing. And Minneapolis dumps the puck in across the blue line, swings it wide, throws it towards the net, and goes off behind and up the boards out to MLPS. Loses it off the wall, down to the slot, and kicked wide here. Rung around the boards and passed up and out of the zone. Whistle blown for offsides. Neutral zone draw here. Won by Minneapolis to the right wing, who brings it up the outside into the zone. Pushed to the boards nicely by Hannah, and then picked up there by Eleanor as they battle for possession. Minneapolis takes it and shot off the side of the cage, rung around the boards by the D, where they battled for possession in the corner, up to Stella Gray. Tries to chip it out, held there by Minneapolis, and dumped back in. Up around the boards and out. Hannah with a head of steam in a foot race here, and picked up by Minneapolis, who circles back, carrying it out of their zone. Challenge there, loses possession. Loose pass as Hannah regains possession and spins it back. Battling near center in the neutral zone. Mounds View regains possession, go D to D, cross-rink pass that just missed the mark, but bounces off the board and picked up by Keegan, and then skated across center and dumped in. Kenna Boostrom picks it up off of the boards. Challenge there by Violet St. Denis as they try to exit the zone, but held in nicely, pass to the low slot. Shot attempt by Piper Hendrickson is blocked by Minneapolis, and they pick the puck up and cycle back, taking it for a run behind the goalie. Challenge along the board, and Mounds View takes possession back and then loses it. Back check by Piper Hendrickson while she was challenged by Keegan as they entered the zone. And chipped along. Challenged in the neutral zone by Violet St. Denis. And then picked up by Kenna Boostrom, who dumps it in and chases. Picks it up behind, looking for a centering option. Instead goes for a wraparound, saved by a Minneapolis Storm goalie. We got a offensive zone face-off here for the Mavericks. And it'll be Hannah Freihammer on the dot. Picked up there by Nyla Torkelson, who fired one towards the net, but it was blocked by the Minneapolis defense. Chipped behind as Minneapolis regains possession. They weren't able to get the puck out as Hannah pitched along the boards, and now coming back up again. Baylor drops it deep. Picked up by Milo, who looks for a centering option towards the slot. Picked up there by Hannah Freihammer and fired, but missed and chipped wide. Now picked up again by Emma Brewski as she dumps it back behind the net. And Milo will go to retrieve, looking for a centering pass, finds Hannah, who passes it back to the D. Fired from out at distance. Blocked by the Minneapolis defense with their sticks. And into the corner for a board battle. Possession taken from behind. Good shot by Milo Torkelson on the wraparound attempt. Missed again, and another save by the Minneapolis goalie. Picked up there by Hannah Freihammer. Backhand goal! Hannah Freihammer picks up the puck in the low slot, rips one off the backhand over the goalie's shoulder for a 1-0 lead for the Mavericks. Face-off is dropped now. Won by Minneapolis, back to their defense. Challenge there by Kenna Boostrom. Carried in. Defense pinches in. Challenged by 3 players, and Kenna gains possession and chips the puck out. Regained there by Minneapolis D. They forward the puck up. Challenged at the blue line and out. Now Minneapolis has regained possession, turns the puck over. And the puck is dumped deep into the Minneapolis zone behind the net as they go to retrieve. Reverse pivot and comes up to the right wing as they come looking for an exit out of the zone. She gets the center line and then loses possession, bumped back out by Eleanor. And now Lucy St. Denis chips one wide of Mabel Couture in net as she goes and retrieves and up and off of the glass and out. And Piper Henderson wins the race but can't get there before the puck crosses the line for an automatic icing call. Defensive zone face-off here for the Mavericks. Hannah Freihammer on the face-off, won by Minneapolis, but chipped out on the challenge there and out of the zone. Minneapolis will have to clear. Piper Henderson goes for a dump, but gets her stick checked, and now Violet St. Denis trying to force one in off of the skate of Piper as she challenges Minneapolis possession. Chipped up off of the boards there by Keegan Boostrom on a nice heads-up play, and now Piper has a breakaway in here with nobody behind, shoots and scores. Grabbed that puck on her backhand, brought it to her forehand for a nice shot at full speed. Tough save for the goalie there on the breakaway. We are at a score of 2-0 with 9:49 to play in the first period. Kenna Boostrom on the dot, loses the face-off, and Minneapolis gains possession, carrying along the boards and challenged at the blue line by Kenna Boostrom, who tries to get out but did not in time. Called for an offsides. We'll have a neutral zone face-off here. And Minneapolis gains possession on a clean face-off win, entering into the zone and challenged as she enters and dumps it in on on Mabel, who covers for a whistle. Defensive zone draw here now from the right side. As Minneapolis looks to establish some pressure here in their offensive zone. Clean draw win back to the defense, but challenged there. No shot gets through. Multiple shots attempted and blocked. Good layers of defense by the Mavericks as they pursue a dump puck. Kenna Boostrom on the forecheck. Challenges there. Backed up by Emma Brewski. And Minneapolis is carrying out. Lugs it across the center line and dumps it deep for a dump and chase. Mounds View defense goes to retrieve, rings the puck around the board, chipped out by Stella Gray, and Kenna Boostrom is racing, will not go far enough for icing, but is challenged there by a Minneapolis player, tries to chip it out, but possession is regained by Emma, challenged at the line and forced out. And now Minneapolis has possession with some speed coming in. Challenged there by Lucy St. Denis on a good stand-up defensive play. Recovered by Minneapolis with some speed as they come into the offensive zone. Pushed wide by the D, and Keegan Boostrom holding there. And shot through the crease, but did not go on net. Pass down and chipped wide. Recovered there by Hannah Freihammer and passed along the boards, but not out. Shot down in front and recovered there by Keegan as she looks to ring one up the boards. Hannah gains possession, but forced it back into the offensive zone. Up and out of play into the Mavericks bench. We'll have another offensive zone face-off for Minneapolis. We've got 8 minutes and 5 seconds with a 2-0 score in favor of Mounds View. Face-off win there by Minneapolis as they gain possession, but challenged at the point by Stella Gray, and then chipped out. Oh, tried to chip it out, but did not actually get it over the line. Good pinch there by Minneapolis. rung around the boards here as they're battling for possession. Hannah Freihammer coming around the boards, chipped out. Again, attempted to chip out, but pinched off there by Minneapolis. And they battle 2-on-2 along the boards. Freihammer comes in to give it an extra advantage. Now we've got a 3-on-3 board battle in the corner. Possession pass back to Hannah, who works it around behind the net and to her D partner. And up. Challenged at the line. Minneapolis is doing a good job of keeping possession in the Mounds View zone. Lifted high off of the boards and fired down by Stella Gray. That will go far enough for an icing, but in youth hockey you still get to change, so that will get them fresh legs on the ice. 7 minutes left on the clock. Left side face-off, one back to the defense by Minneapolis. Goes D to D, tries to pass it down to the low slot at the right wing, but the defense for Mounds View is there. Eleanor with a good job challenging there. Minneapolis gains possession in the corner, but their pass towards the point is lost and then regained. Good save by Mabel off the shoulder. And up and challenged at the line, held in. Now they throw it down. Kenna Boostrom loses possession back. Lucy St. Dennis tries to jump it up the boards and misses, and chipped out once again by her sister Violet St. Dennis, chased by Kenna Boostrom, who centers and just misses Piper. And now Minneapolis has possession. They've got a 1-on-2, good challenge there. And then good save there. And down for icing. Mabel gave us a little bit of a scary moment there, making the first save, but missing on the cover. She left the puck loose, but was fired down for an icing. 5:57 remaining. Score remains 2-0 Mounds View. Offensive zone faceoff for Minneapolis. One to the right wing, but challenged there by Mila Tolkeson as she came up for her defensive slot and chipped out into the Minneapolis zone. They send three back to recover. Mounds View in aggressively on the forecheck here, and then held by Keegan Boostrom at the line. Off of Hannah's skate, fired down low, and the Minneapolis goalie will cover it to slow things down. Offensive zone faceoff forthcoming for Mounds View. Face-off battle down low and taken behind the net by the Minneapolis and rings it around the boards. Chased there and chipped out by Minneapolis, but possession is regained by Hannah Freihammer, who takes it for a little stroll behind the net with some speed. Passes the puck up to Milo, who tries to chip it out, held there by Minneapolis, and thrown back in behind for a dump and retrieve. Emma battling along the board, trying to gain possession of the puck, loses it to the face-off circle, but it's picked up there by Ayla, looks like, and passed around to Keegan Boostrom and chipped, but held in again by Minneapolis. Good sticks there as they continue pinching along the boards, but finally chipped out by Mounds View and fired deep, but not on net, and the puck is cleared out. Dumped in deep by Eleanor, wide of net, but bounces off of the end boards and covered by the goalie. Offensive zone face-off here, one to the left wing, shot and steered wide. Centered from behind the cage, off of the side of the cage and into the corner here. Possession regained as Stella goes to challenge the Minneapolis player behind the net. She reverses and comes back looking to go out the other side. Challenged again there. Off the boards and out. That will go deep enough for an icing, so the puck is coming back down for an offensive zone faceoff for Mounds View. 4 minutes remaining. Score remains 2-0. Offensive zone faceoff controlled by Minneapolis to the left wing, but challenged there as they battle along the boards. The puck gets fired wide to the right side, rings around the boards, and challenged and held by Kenna Boostrom. Now the puck clears the zone, but Mounds View sends it right back in and looks to go retrieve behind the net. Good pressure there by Kenna Boostrom on the forecheck, and possession is regained with a long shot. Almost deflected there, but let that one through, and the goalie got it at the last second. Good save there by the goalie. And now counterattack opportunity on an odd man. Wide to the right side, and shoots and scores. Good counterattack from Minneapolis, and gets a shot low on Mabel. Squeaks in for a goal. We are now at 2-1. With 3:19 remaining in the first period. Face-off one to the left wing, banged off the boards. Tried to go D-to-D and was challenged there by a Minneapolis player. Almost turned it over, but fortunate it bounced off of her stick. And now they battle along the boards, looking to get the puck out. And out it comes. Challenged there by Violet St. Denis, and possession held. Hannah dumps it down deep as Mounds View looks to go retrieve. Minneapolis recovers and comes up the right side, driving along the boards while they battle and fire down into the corner. And a shot from distance by Bailey. Possession regained by Minneapolis as they come with speed. Push to the outside, and glove save by Mabel. Good shot that was labeled for the twine until Mabel snagged it with the glove. Offensive zone face-off for Minneapolis. As they pass towards the point, chipped out nicely by Emma, who challenges for possession, and carried in by Minneapolis. Over to the left side and fired wide. Board battle goes as Minneapolis dumps the puck deep. Recovered by Eleanor, who chips it off the cage and out to her defensive partner, Lucy St. Denis, who fires it, held in, and sent back by Minneapolis. Pass along the outside. Eleanor held for a board battle there, loses possession of the puck while they fight. And her teammate comes to help her out. Kenna Boostrom with the good assist there. As Eleanor tries to carry out with speed, she passes it over to Mila Torkelson, who has it. And good stick challenge by Minneapolis as they battle in the corner. Challenged by Kenna, and Minneapolis carries the puck out as we enter the final minute of play in the first period. Dumped down into the corner, chipped along the boards, held there, and fired back low as Keegan picks up the puck and is challenged along the boards and held. Good support from Hannah, who chips it off the boards and out. It will go, but not deep enough for an icing as Minneapolis regains possession. Hannah Freihammer challenges on the forecheck and steals the puck away and fires it behind the net as it's held by Stella Gray. We enter the final 30 seconds of play here in the first period. Mounds View fighting hard to try and get one more on the board before the period ends, and Minneapolis trying to get it out. Good battle for possession in the offensive end. Carried up and chipped off the boards. That will go far enough for icing as we get to 2 seconds remaining. And that will likely be the end of the first period off of this face-off. And that is the end of the first period. 2-1 Mounds View as we look to start the second. We'll take a quick break and be right back with more hockey from Hibbing. And we resume play. Quick whistle here at the start. We're going to do that again. And the puck chipped back. Retrieved there by Minneapolis. Challenge deep in the zone, but able to chip it out. And now they're coming in with speed up the right boards. Good back check by Piper and cleared. Good first save by Mabel. Cleared by the defense. And Bailey battling behind the boards, centered and shot wide. Passes up to Eleanor, who rings the puck around the boards. And held there by Minneapolis and sent back behind. She passes it up to Bailey, who grabs the puck and rings it around the boards towards the wing. Held again by Minneapolis. As they're doing a good job holding the boards and send the puck deep. Possession gained by Eleanor. And up and out by Kenna. Challenge there and then picked up the puck, brings it up the left side outside, pushed wide by the defense, chipped behind as she looks for a teammate. Up to the right D and fired on net and saved by the goalie. Sneaky fast low shot, but the goalie was up to the challenge. Face off one back to the right D, who shoots the puck and blocked by Minneapolis. And the puck chipped in deep. Board battle, and the puck is centered towards the cage, but picked up there by Minneapolis and brought back to the outside and fired along the boards. Fired in, and recovered by Mila Torkelson, who passes it. And the puck is chipped deep. Minneapolis will ring it around the boards and is going to be held once again. Good offensive pressure here. They chip it out. Pushed into the boards by Hannah Freihammer. Sends it deep, and Keegan Boostrom goes to retrieve. Rings it around the boards towards Milo. Puck sent deep, and off of the end boards and behind. Challenge at the right boards. And fired. And that will ring around where it's picked up by Mila. And chipped out. It will not go far enough for icing. And sent back by Minneapolis, who sends it all the way down. And it does go far enough for icing. So we'll now have an offensive zone face-off. Two to one with 12:14 to play in the second period as they drop it in the face-off circle. Picked up there by Kenna, and possession lost and fired along and out. But retrieved there by Lucy, who fires it out off of the ref back to the neutral zone. So Minneapolis has to clear the zone, who dumps it back deep, and then possession is regained as Kenna sends it deep towards the goalie, who plays it right to Kenna, who rips the shot, and a good save made by the goalie. Up and out of the zone, on with speed, as she cuts through the center, and shoots and scores on the breakaway. Tie hockey game. Strong effort attacking with speed through the middle. In hard on net and with a good hard shot. So we got a tie hockey game with 11:36 to play, 2-2. Mounds View got the first two, Minneapolis gets the next two. As they battle along the boards for possession, challenged in the neutral zone. Good stick there by Violet St. Denis, who goes forehand, backhand, and then is pushed to the ice, and we do have an arm in the air. Looks like we have the first penalty of the game. They're gonna call a slash, it looks like. So Minneapolis will be a skater down for at least a minute, I believe 90 seconds, because we are playing 15-minute periods. Good clean face-off win back, but nobody home for Mounds View as it exits the zone, and picked up there by Mila Torkelson, who passes it back to center to Kenna. Hops over her stick and picked up by Minneapolis, who sends the puck down. Possession regained by Lucy, who comes up with speed on the rush. They have numbers coming back if we can get with her. And nice stop and go by Mila. Good save by the goalie. Centered through the crease and to the right side. Picked up there by Lucy St. Denis, who was able to keep the puck in and fires it towards the cage to a waiting Mila Torkelson. Nice diving defensive play on the block. Keegan Boostrom picks the puck up. centers towards Emma, who was unable to put her stick blade on it. Good challenge by the defense here. Good power play by the Mavericks. Board battle in the corner. Chipped out by Mounds View, and then out by Minneapolis, who must really want to get a change. Fired deep by Lucy, who misses her pass, and it comes back for an icing. Defensive zone face-off won by the Mavericks, chipped across, and then rung around by Minneapolis, who's trying to kill time on this penalty. No better way to do that than maintain possession in the offensive zone. They have too many skaters on the ice, but it goes uncalled for a solid 20 seconds there, but possession remains in battle. Penalty is expired. And Minneapolis with possession threw it around behind the cage and up the right side. Throws the puck deep. Fired to the boards. And Hannah Freihammer regains possession with speed as she challenges to the outside. Push to the boards. Into the neutral zone. And chips it deep. Minneapolis regains possession there. Eleanor regains possession as they try and chip it past her. Dumped in by Stella Gray, who goes for a change. Challenge there. And a quick odd man the other way, thrown wide. And a Minneapolis player toe picks and takes a seat as they go and chip the puck out, regains possession. Challenge there by Kenna. Piper Hendrickson on the pressure on the back check. Offsides whistled. .801 left in the second. We have a 2-2 tie. Emma challenges as they force the puck deep. Picked up by Minneapolis. Can't get a shot through. And up and out by Piper. Back in, but offsides once again. Face off at the dot right in front of us here. Won back cleanly by Minneapolis, who chips the puck deep. Around as Keegan goes and checks her shoulder, throws it around to her defensive partner. Passed up to Emma Brewski and held there by Minneapolis. But we regain possession as Kenna comes with speed up the outside and tries to throw the puck towards the cage. Steered behind by the D. And good aggressive forecheck by Piper Hendrickson, turns the puck over. She centers, but no one is home. Lucy St. Dennis takes possession from the point and fires it deep. Steered to the corner by the goalie. And Minneapolis comes back with possession. And regained by Lucy, who doubles back but loses an edge. Up and out. Played by the goalie into the corner. Neutralizing the icing call. Now Minneapolis has numbers as they come back. Chip to the boards. He goes around behind, in front, and covered by Mabel. defensive zone face-off for Mounds View. Battled there and won on the assist from Violet St. Denis, but possession regained by Minneapolis. They look for a backside pass, just missed the right winger who was looking for a one-time net. Possession regained along the boards by Milo, who chips it up to Hannah Freihammer, who goes down on the back check. And Minneapolis carries the puck out of their zone. Stick handling and skating, chipped away. And challenged in the center. Pushed to the boards by Hannah. She goes to center and recovered by Minneapolis D, chipped deep as they battle in the corner looking to regain possession. And they do, chipped up and out off of the boards, and it won't go far enough for an icing. As the puck goes deep, possession is lost and then regained by Minneapolis. Skated behind Gretzky's office, goes for the wraparound and saved by Mabel. Puck goes to the corner, pushed to Lucy St. Denis, who comes with speed up the outside. She fires from outside and chipped into the boards. Four minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the second period. Shot from the point by Lucy, deflected there, and then a closer shot from the low slot was also blocked. And possession turned over. Good back pressure by Lucy St. Denis, and Kenna comes and retrieves. Possession is turned over. Good save by Mabel. The puck comes loose, and Stella Gray carries it across center and in. Throws on the brakes and goes for a shot, blocked by Minneapolis. Held in by Eleanor as she goes to push it deep, and just out of the reach of Bailey, who skates to retrieve. She fires it off the boards. Picked up by Emma and dumped back in by Minneapolis. Eleanor goes to retrieve, rings it around the boards. Shot from distance is blocked. And now we have an arm in the air for a trip on Hannah Freihammer. So it goes back to the power play for Mounds View with 3:18 left in a 2-2 game. Got a little delay here while they try and figure out how to get the penalty accurately up on the scoreboard. Should be a 90-second penalty. And here we go. Shot from the outside, held by the defense. Challenged there by Hannah, and picked back up by Eleanor, who dumps it behind the net. Bounces off the boards and towards the face-off circle where it's picked up and thrown on net. Chipped wide by the goalie, who covers and gets a stoppage. Face-off, one back to the right knee, but then challenged there and carried out by Minneapolis. Kenna challenges her there and gets possession away. Picked up by Violet St. Denis. Fired back in off of a stick blade. And carried into the zone by Violet St. Denis. Chipped down, Mila Torgensen going for a retrieval. Minneapolis cycles back, maintains possession, and then throws it all the way down the length for an icing. Yes, there are icings on power plays in youth hockey. Face-off, one back. D-to-D pass and fired on net. Chipped wide by the defense in Minneapolis. Retrieved there by Stella Gray as they battle along the boards. Pass D-to-D. Eleanor challenged at the point. And chipped out by Minneapolis. D-to-D pass goes wide, and Lucy comes to retrieve. Up and out. Won't go far enough for an icing. Picked up by Minneapolis, who skates it around behind. Hannah Freihammer hard on the forecheck. Challenges there, knocks the puck loose. And looked to center, but stick checked and nobody home to retrieve the puck. As Minneapolis carries out and is back to 5 skaters. Whistled for an offsides as we hit 1 minute, 1 second remaining in the second period. And we got a little mashup here coming off the ice. Defensive chip into the zone, retrieved by the Minneapolis defense, who tries to ring it around the boards, pinched and held there. Back deep, Piper on that forecheck. Kenna comes in to try and assist on the retrieval, but it's pushed to the Minneapolis player, who skates around with momentum, looking for somewhere to pass it to, but has speed and carrying it out. And she goes deep, pushed wide, and loses possession. Dumped towards the board, fired towards the net. Players in the low slot, and chipped in. With 19.6 seconds remaining, Minneapolis takes the lead 3-2. Face-off, won by Minneapolis, chipped back in by Mounds View. Hannah goes to retrieve with 10 seconds remaining in the second period. Battles along the boards, pushed to the ice. As the girls continue to battle down there, we run out of time, and that will be the end of the second period. Go, third period. "15 minutes of play." Puck fired deep and recovered. D-to-D pass a little too hard for Lucy as Minneapolis looks to center. But challenged there by Mounds View. Picked up by Hannah and skates it around behind. Chipped off of her stick there. And Keegan Boostrom brings it up the left side. Chipped out, looking for Hannah with speed, and has Emma with her. Skates wide. Nice defensive play by Minneapolis there. And chip back in as Keegan wheels and fires, but the puck is held. And then chipped down deep. As Minneapolis looks for a retrieval, she goes for center. Picked off there by Hannah. And then chipped out by Mila. As Mounds View goes for a change. And Mila challenges on the forecheck. In comes Kenna Boostrom, who carries the puck through the center. Out to Bailey, who shoots from the point wide of the cage, but it bounces off the end boards and held there. Face-off pulled back. Stella Gray gets it in the low slot and fires, and saved by the goalie. Face-off one back to Bailey at the defense, and throws it on net off of the glove of the goalie and centered. Still loose and goes down behind, centered out, and out as Bailey loses possession at the blue line, but regains it and fires it across D-to-D. Challenge there, and then carried in. Chipped at the blue line while they battle for possession. Chipped out by Kenna. Picked up by Mara, who loses possession on the defensive challenge. Stella providing good pressure on the forecheck, challenging the carrier. Shot wide after the carrying at 200 foot. Ping-ponging off of people's helmets. And up and out. And it will go deep enough for an icing. defensive zone face-off for the Mavericks. Shot down and off of the end boards. Working around behind. Battling for possession and up and chipped out by Violet St. Denis. Minneapolis carries it deep and then challenged at the line, and possession is taken back as the puck goes. And Piper Hendrickson steals that one away and dumps it back in. Held into the zone as Emma carries it across, and then the puck is picked up by Minneapolis and carried in and chipped in by, looks like, Kenna Boostrom. Passes it out to the wing, and Minneapolis is coming on the counterattack, challenged in the neutral zone by Lucy St. Denis, who now regains possession of the puck and passes it up to Emma, but challenged there by Minneapolis. She cycles back and bounces one off of the boards, and it does not go far enough for icing. Oh, it did go far enough for icing.
Yeah.
11:15 left to play. 3-2 score. Minneapolis up over Mounds View as we come for a defensive zone face-off. One back to the challenge there and retrieved by Mounds View, who tries to chip it out along the boards. Pinched and held by Minneapolis. Pass down to the low slot, but challenged there by Bailey, who chips it up off of the glass. And then up and out for Hannah Freihammer, coming with speed. Takes it to the outside. Pinched there by the D. Gets support from Violet and Stella. And puck chipped out by Minneapolis, but possession regained. Up to Hannah, who chips it off the boards. And carried in by Minneapolis with some speed, pushed to the outside and shot wide. Tried to skate right, shoot left, but missed the target. Chipped out, possession regained by Minneapolis. Passed up to the wing, who lost her balance, which allows Mounds View to recover possession of the puck. Chipped across, and Bailey rings it around the boards. Pinched off there by Minneapolis. And behind the net. Challenged by two Mavericks. And from the corner, thrown in front. Picked up by Hannah and chipped by Stella. And now Piper Hendrickson coming up the outside with some speed. Challenged there by Minneapolis, who regains possession while Mounds View goes for a change. Nice pressure from Piper to regain possession, keep the puck in the zone. Now we have a board battle along the left side. Chip deep. As Minneapolis goes to retrieve, they ring it around the boards. Pinched off nicely by Kenna. And banged off the end boards behind the net. Battle along the outside and chipped out by Minneapolis. Keegan goes to retrieve. And Lucy St. Denis rings it around the outside. Puck chipped out by Kenna and retrieved by the Storm as they come up the outside. Challenged by Piper in the neutral zone. The stick checks her. And now we've got bodies going down all over the place. Now we've got a turnover in front of the net, picked up and fired to the side. And Keegan grabs it and fires it up the outside, held by Minneapolis, battling in the face-off dot, and then chipped and tipped, and Hannah Freihammer picks it up with speed, cuts towards center, and shoots. Chipped wide by the goalie. Fired from behind the net. And Minneapolis rings it around. Thrown on net, chipped and fired, and then again falling and in! I think that is Mila Torkelson that picked up that grinder goal. And now we have a 3-3 tie with 7 minutes remaining. 7:57 remaining, excuse me. This is a great hockey game, back and forth battle between two good teams. As Minneapolis carries it in along the outside. And chipped out by Eleanor. Minneapolis regains possession as they try and carry it along and challenged along the boards by Stella and Kenna. Chipped out by Stella as they look to go retrieve. Picked up by Minneapolis and skates it back towards her own goalie and behind, gaining some momentum. Chips it up off the boards to the outside. Pinched off there by Eleanor. And Kenna comes in and chips it deeper as Minneapolis regains possession and looks to retreat behind their net. Nice pass on the exit and chips it out. Eleanor regains possession and skates it in from outside and fires it wide, getting the puck deep and retreats to her defensive position while Kenna goes to retrieve. And Violet St. Denis forces the Minneapolis player to reverse course, and she does with speed and coming through neutral ice across the blue line. Onside and covered and saved by Mabel on a good hard shot from the outside. .6:36 left in the third. 3-3 tie. As the puck is won by Hannah to the right wing, who dumps it deep behind. Up off the boards. Violet St. Denis gains possession and looks to chip it out. Challenged there by Minneapolis. Piper aggressive on the forecheck as Hannah goes to put pressure, and the puck is fired up and up off of a stick and up to the outside. Offsides whistled as we go for another faceoff. Picked up by Keegan Boostrom, who carries it out of the man's U zone. And rapidly chipped back in. It will go deep enough for an icing. I think the girls missed the whistle there and continued playing, but we are coming back for an offensive zone face-off. .554 remaining, 3-3 tie. One back and fired by Eleanor. Looking to get the puck deep, picked up by Minneapolis. Continues to work and weave with the puck and carries it up the outside and across. Good poke check there by Emma. And Eleanor picks it up with speed around the outside and then tries to fire it out. Pinched in by Minneapolis to hold it deep. And Lucy fires the puck out off the backhand off of the ref and picked up by Minneapolis, who loses the puck and offsides on the Mavericks. Almost got that one with possession, but two girls couldn't get back before it got chipped in. 5:12 remaining in regulation. Neutral zone faceoff won by Mounds View. And Bailey picks up the puck and chips it in deep behind. As Minneapolis looks to chip it out. And Stella loses possession, and it is being skated out of the zone and in, forced wide into the boards. And possession regained by Mounds View. D-to-D pass, rung up off the boards high and out. Tipped by Minneapolis, so no icing here. Not sure it made it far enough. And chipped up the middle. Held nicely there by, I can't tell whose number that was. And Bailey is in a foot race for a puck that was chipped deep and wins. He gets possession. Ringed around the outside to Stella, who kicks to her stick and carries it in and fires it deep and goes for a change. Held in by Keegan Boostrom, fires it deep, maintaining possession. And now Minneapolis has retrieved. Pass to center, who then chips it out off the boards, recovered by Lucy, who goes D-to-D across the ice. Carried to center and dumped in by Keegan. Good retrieval by Minneapolis as they look to chip the puck out. Pinched by Lucy St. Dennis, and the puck gets past. And we've got a odd man and save, and a second save. Up and out. Held in nicely by Piper Hendrickson at the line. As the girls continue to battle, thrown towards the center, but nobody home yet. As Violet goes to pinch along the sides, Minneapolis looks to chip the puck out and does so. Retrieved there by Eleanor. 2:52 remaining. Moving with speed. Good poke check there, but she skates through it and continues to battle through the contact. Good strong skating, comes around with speed, throws it towards center. Shot and retrieved. Didn't get to the goalie, picked up by Minneapolis, who comes now on the counterattack with speed up to the outside, forced wide. A nice defensive play there by Hannah Freihammer, who rings it around the outside. Up to Mila Torkelson, pinched at the line, and then up, and Emma Bruschi has the puck with space. She weaves back towards center. Defender falls down, she fires, and gloved by the goalie. With 2 minutes remaining. .208 left in the third, 3-3 tie. Face-off up to the outside, challenged at the line, and good heads-up play by Kenna to not send that puck in offside. She waited for Lucy to clear, or for Stella to clear the zone. Keegan goes to retrieve at the blue line and sends it out. And sent in offsides there. Mara went for the dump in, but didn't realize that her teammate was offsides. And now we're back for the faceoff with 1:46 remaining, 3-3 tie. Chipped off the boards. They battle in neutral ice. It comes loose towards the blue line. Passed up and off of the skates. Carried deep and threw across the crease, but not on net, and no teammate there yet to be able to challenge that. Possession regained by Mounds View. Coming up the outside is Mara Pressing, who carries it through and challenged at the blue line and sent in offsides. With 1:08 remaining in this game. Neutral zone face-off. One back by Minneapolis. Challenged there, though, by Hannah, who loses the puck and then fires it towards the net and wide. In on the forecheck is Piper Hendrickson, who goes and takes down a defender and is called for a slash. With 55.6 seconds remaining, Minneapolis on the power play. Timeout called by Minneapolis. Good hard play by both those girls there, but she took her out at the knee and got called. .55 seconds and the power play for the Minneapolis Storm. Hannah Freihammer will be on the face-off dot. Good battle in one. Back by Minneapolis, fires the shot into Mabel's chest, who covers. And face-off won by Minneapolis. Another shot. Rebound was loose, but picked up by Kenna, who carries it out and chips it along. Gets the puck deep. Minneapolis carries it up to the outside, pushed wide by Kenna. Good play. As we have 24 seconds and covered by Mabel with 22.6 seconds left in the third period. 58 seconds remaining on the power play. Timeout Mounds View, as they've been called for a second penalty here. Hannah Freihammer called for a hook and in the box along with Piper. So we will have some 5-on-3 hockey here. Exciting finish to a 3-3 game. And here we go, 22.6 seconds remaining. It'll be Kenna Boostrom on the face-off stop. Flanked by Lucy St. Dennis. Face-off one fired wide to the corner. Shot from the side and covered, and then fired off of the boards. Nice back check by Kenna, who chips it, and Lucy fires the puck out. That is going to be 1.7 seconds remaining. It did go far enough for an icing. 1.7 seconds remaining. And here's something you don't see often in hockey. We have an empty net in a tie game, 6-on-3. And the period expires. And this one is done at a 3-3 tie.